Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So, no makeup today. Too much going on in my house and I have too much to do and I don't feel like it. I don't feel like putting on makeup. So, as you all know, most of you know, the whole world knows, the verdict for, not the verdict, the decision to not indict Darren Wilson for the murder of Mike Brown was handed down, handed down. I forget which one it is when you do a grand jury. Was given last night. And if you watch the news, if you don't live in a bubble, you know that probably as we speak, the city is still on fire. I'm trying to, I could not sleep last night. First of all, I shouldn't have watched as long as I did. I shouldn't have, I should have cut it off at some point, but I couldn't cut it off. I just kept watching and, Tamaya was watching and she was invested and, trying to figure things out, whatever. But here's how I feel about the situation. It was a setup. The citizens of Ferguson were set up. And how they didn't see that, I don't know. First of all, who automatically goes to a grand jury? Just automatically. You killed this boy and it automatically goes to a grand jury. As a person who has lost a child to gun violence and been through a trial, grand jury automatically. Second of all, when the grand jury reached their decision, it took 8 hours. 8 hours. More than 8 hours, really, for them to announce it. His parents were not notified that a decision had been reached. They found out about it from CNN. Somebody called them and told them. Disrespectful. When we went through trial, when the decision had been reached, we were notified. We were sitting there, even though it took the jury a minute to come back in, we were notified. A decision has been reached. Come back to the courtroom. And that's what we did. His parents, you couldn't give them the common courtesy of a fucking phone call. Then they said at 4 o'clock the decision is going to be announced. Didn't happen. Their justification was, oh, we want to get kids home from school and people home from work and, all of this other stuff. Now, why was there a need to wait till kids are home from school and people are home from work? That was hint number one. Okay. Then they said, we're going to wait till the night. Why would you wait until the night to hand down or to announce a decision? Hint number two, we're going to announce it at 9 o'clock their time. 9 o'clock came, no announcement. 9:05 came, no announcement. By now, it's hundreds of people gathering. They're anxious. You have to understand the mindset of people who are sitting and waiting to be disappointed. One of the reporters said it was like the night before Christmas. I don't know what his night before Christmas was like in his house, but in my house, that's not the damn night before Christmas. The night before Christmas is, ooh, I can't wait to get up and see what I got in the morning. Not, ooh, I'm waiting on them to say this man going free. What the fuck? The night before Christmas, hint number, whatever. And at 9:14, the prosecutor comes out, who didn't handle the case, mind you, his assistants did. He comes out, goes into this long spiel. The very first thing he did was blame social media. Are you fucking kidding me? He blamed social media. That was his number one line of defense. Social media, then he blamed news media. He went on to give this spiel, blah, 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 blah. You already knew where he was going. Backtrack. When the governor and the city officials had their little announcement or their little press conference, they were talking about they had mental health professionals on standby, safe havens, and the National Guard, and blah, blah, blah. That was the hint. Why would you need mental health professionals? I understand being hoping for the best and being prepared for the worst, but you got mental health professionals just on standby? Safe havens? Yeah. So then he comes out, and the prosecutor, comes out, does his little spiel to say there was a no true bill and they couldn't find probable cause to indict this man for killing this boy. I'm going to stop with the boy was shot in the top of his head. I need somebody to explain to me where was the need to shoot him in the top of his head. Then you go with, oh, there was some witnesses we couldn't find. In this age of technology, where everybody leaves a digital fingerprint somewhere, most black people don't know that. When you get on the internet and you're texting and you're doing this, you're leaving a digital fingerprint. You telling me the FBI couldn't find some of the witnesses? Mike Brown family asked for 4.5 minutes of silence before protesting began. And, you know, I don't even know what to say. I will say this, black people, you were set up, and how you didn't see that it was a setup, it's beyond me. They waited until nightfall to announce the decision. You're in the streets, you're cold, you're angry, you're anxious, you're all of these things. And they put you in the damn dark and tell you they're going to let him go. Let me tell you what happened in them 8 hours that we were waiting. He got the fuck out of Dodge. Because, like the reporter said, if he was going to be indicted, it would have been a request for him to turn himself in, and a bulletin would have went out for him to turn himself in. That didn't happen. So you automatically knew it wasn't going to happen. And they put y'all in the dark, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait. You start playing fuck the police on the radio, people tweaking or twerking or whatever the hell you call that shit in the street. Black people, you were set up, and how you didn't see it, I don't understand. I understand emotions are high and you're angry and all this other stuff, because at the end of the day, that boy was killed because he was black. And the cop was a fucking punk. You don't 12 shots. Let me tell you something. I've dated people who are police officers, correction officers. They are trained to fucking kill. That's what kill shot mean. They're trained to kill. They're not trained to wound. Trained to kill. Flat out. Every year they go, or every 2 years they go to certify at the gun range. Trained to kill. So it didn't take 12 motherfucking shots to bring this boy down. And why did it take shots? Where the fuck was the taser gun at? Y'all so quick to tase people. Where was it at? 12 shots. Then you want to say he reached in the car and you felt like a 5-year-old fighting Hulk Hogan. You a motherfucking punk. Then you should not be a police officer. You shouldn't be a police officer. If a boy can intimidate you and you got motherfucking guns and batons and can cough back up and all this other bullshit that they put out, you shouldn't be a police officer. You should probably, you know, be a postal worker or something. Black people, they set you up because they wanted you to do exactly what you did. Are we angry? Hell yes. Are we hurt? Hell yes. But how does this help his family? His family pleaded with us. Please don't do it. Don't give them what they want. I promise you the prosecutor is sitting at his table, wherever the fuck he is, picking his teeth and laughing his ass off because they wanted to do this so they can say, see, black people are this, black people are that. They feel vindicated now. They feel vindicated in what they did. They feel vindicated in letting this man go free for killing somebody's son. And as we speak, the fucking city is still on fire. I need somebody to explain to me. They set police cars in the street. I'm going to need y'all to think about that for a minute. Nobody was in the cars. They was just parked on the street. Now, if you're preparing for the worst but hoping for the best, you're going to get your vehicles off the street, especially if you got officers standing around. Why would you need empty vehicles on the street? Black people, you were set the fuck up. We have to stop being so emotional. Get control of your emotion. Where was this emotion when it was time to fucking vote? People want to say, oh, my vote don't count. You goddamn right it don't count because you ain't cast one. Your vote does count. And now look at what we got. And guess what? You think it's bad, it's about to get worse. Because guess what? A whole bunch of motherfuckers, them same motherfuckers that was looting Ferguson Market, coming out with fucking bags of Cheetos. What the fuck? I saw this woman come out with like 5 bags of Cheetos. Where in your psyche does... Black people, you were set up. It was a setup. It was so many people out there saying, y'all don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Begging and pleading. It wasn't everybody out there. It was so many peaceful people out there trying to help the police keep the peace. Come on, y'all. Don't do that. Don't throw that. We better than this. We better than this. But those people quickly got swallowed by a few. Not everybody out there was doing that. No, all those people out there weren't protesting and being violent. That was a few who took over and created mass hysteria. And now this is what we have. I bet you if it was somebody able to do the stats of the number of people who really incited this violence, it is a handful. The rest of those people were trying to make a fucking point. This is not who we are. We are not, this is not us. This is not indicative of all black people. This is not who we are. But those few bad apples. I don't understand. If we are going to save our black boys or protect our black boys, empower our black boys, their first line of defense is education. Cut off motherfucking Lil Wayne, who got like 3 degrees by the way. Cut off Lil Wayne and all this other bullshit and put a fucking government book in their hand. Teach them about black history and the struggle. Teach them about the people that died so that they could live and have the freedom that they have. Teach them about fucking voting and what it means. Teach them about their amendment and constitutional rights. I mean, god damn, come on. Teach them how how to walk away. Teach them how to recognize when they being fucking set up. Teach them that their behavior, sadly, will represent all black people. It's sad, but it's true, because that's the world we live in. That's the climate of the world we live in. Motherfucking turn them motherfucking Real Housewives off, because they will judge all black women based on what the housewives are doing. That's not us. Hell, that's not them. They selling you something. That's entertainment. They don't live like that. That's entertainment. It's entertainment. Teach your kids reality. Reality, and teach your daughters. Because guess what? Your daughter's going to date one of them boys. You better decide who the hell you want your daughter dating. It's tragic that they fell into that trap. They were set up. And now the city of Ferguson, the powers that be, feel like, told you. Mental health professionals, National Guard, safe havens, come on, y'all. Come on. You gotta know. I mean, I saw people coming out with Patron bottles, and for what? How does that help his family? What does that do to his memory? What does it do? All it does is say, see, he was just like them. They're already trying to talk about he robbed the store for some cigarette. Know the difference between robbing and stealing. And I don't even know if he stole. I don't know. But I know if he did steal, that's what handcuffs and going in the back of the car and going to jail is for. Not being shot 12 times. And more importantly, they want to say he charged as a police officer. Now, unless you high as hell and geeked out your mind, suicidal or mentally disabled, what black boy, 18, or any person for that matter, is going to charge a police officer who has a gun pointed at him, who's already shot at them already? I'm going to need you to think about that for a minute. This was a miscarriage of justice. And now we have another little boy dead because he was playing with a toy gun. I refuse to even read it. I've seen it on social media. I have to get past this first. You know how many black boys are dead senselessly for nothing? Just because they're black. You can live in this bubble and think racism don't exist. Racism is alive, well, and thriving. And we fell into its hand last night. Some of you. Not all. Some. Few bad apples. Who don't understand the power behind appropriate demonstration and protesting. Do you know what we could do if we were to come together as a body of people and stop putting each other down and holding each other back and not supporting each other and all this other stuff? These are the things that they want us to do, because they know as long as we are divided amongst ourselves, we are no threat to them. But if we were to come together in a positive movement, imagine what we could do. So now Mike Brown's family, his parents, no Mike for Thanksgiving, no Mike for Christmas, no Mike for holidays, no little Mikeys running around. Every hope they had for their son laid in the street for 4.5 hours. Every hope they had for his memory was flushed down the toilet last night at 9:14. And we have people burning down stores and all this other stuff in the city that they choose to live in. You want to fuck Ferguson up? Pack your shit and leave. See what they do then. See what happens to the economy then in Ferguson. We got to get smart. We got to get smart. We got to control our emotions. Is it wrong? It's wrong as hell. It's wrong. He killed that boy. He got married last week. He gone on with his life. He ain't even in Missouri. Them 8 hours that you was waiting, they got his ass out of the state. Trust and believe. Then they throw up this fake blog that George Zimmerman killed himself. Get the fuck out of here. Black people. You were set up. And tragically, a handful of you fell for it. And now a city is on fire where you're going to live. So guess what happened? When these people rebuild their stores, because they got insurance money, some of them are never going to come back. And the others, the ones that remain, price is going up. You think it's hard now? Oh, the aftermath has not happened. This is not what the trailblazers before us died for. It's not. It's just not. This is not what Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and all those other people, Malcolm X, even though he said by any means necessary. Come on, y'all. We gotta wake up. We gotta do better. Be mad, be angry, but use that anger as a positive thing. Use it to create change. Let that anger and that passion be the fuel that drives you to make a difference. Because guess what? It's people having babies. It's a little black baby was born today. Probably one being born right now. We gotta release them into this world. What are we releasing them into? And more importantly, invest in your kids, because you're going to release these kids into the world. What are you releasing into society? I mean, come on, people. Education is our first line of defense. We have to educate our boys. We have to empower them to be men of valor and strength and courage and determination. Will that save their life? I can't say yes, I can't say no. But education, I can't say it enough. Education is their first line of defense. And when all else fails, but God. You don't believe in God, believe in whoever you choose to believe in. But empower your boys to be better people. To look at this situation in Ferguson and not feel disenfranchised, like, oh, no, to look at it and say, we better than this, y'all. We better than this. Because somewhere it's a little 11-year-old boy sitting on the floor looking at this. We got to show them that, no, we do have hope. There is another option. There is a better way. There is a better way. Focus his attention on the 80% that were positive and not the 20% that burnt the city down.